Before the new year, we worked closely with the Moscow Aviation Institute on the nacelle, over 2,000 cubic meter machine. So we were to provide the entire power plant, AERONOVA that is, the engine, the fuel system, control system of the engine, rotary transmission, we have almost completely designed it, just a little bit is left. But it is just the work on its placement inside the nacelle. We make the screws ourselves, we make the electrics ourselves. As for Aviation Institute, well, we were discussing what they would do, and after the new year, yesterday, we signed our cooperation agreement. We agreed on the terms of reference for the development. So within the first 2 months, the first stage is going on. The first stage is a preliminary design. We need to provide a lot of initial data, that is understandable layouts, weight calculations, and other things that we need. As the initial data will be provided, the first stage of the preliminary design will happen within 2 months. We'll get some 3D models with industrial design of the nacelles. Of course, we make a super modern, beautiful, functional, lightweight, durable design. We don't limit ourselves in anything. We don't have to. So within a couple of months, maybe in advance, we will have some sketches. We'll show you something and tell you about that. So in this regard, we have moved forward significantly. As for Nova 01, we released a small video before the new year. It was filmed in a hurry. There is no script, nothing. You could see Shamil, a young designer from the Moscow Institute. He's already working for us full-time. He told us, here is the engine, here are the controllers, and so on. In fact, as early as Friday, we will have the entire control system in our lab. It will be lying on the table. It will be fully assembled. It will have its brain connected to all the controllers, motors, boards, batteries, a bunch of sensors, magnetometers and stuff. Servos for the tails, for turning the propeller, everything. Everything will be together. It will work. There will be video cameras, radio transmitters. It remains to put it all on the airship itself, Nova 01. And according to our plan, we have a plan and we stick to it. We plan to put it in the air at the end of February. Now we're actively choosing the fabric from which we'll make the airship itself, that is the shell, the inner ballonet. We have finally sorted out the 3D workshop, which has 3D printers. We used it as a warehouse before, while we were renovating this room here. We started printing air gas systems. We bought some of the valves. We'll have to print others, the fans that will blow the ballonets. Well, we have started printing them too. Basically, we do everything to get the airship up and running at the end of February. Tailing is now starting to be produced. The tailing is covered with fabric, just like the wings of airplanes are covered with fabric. Now, the main thing is that the fabric selection is going on now. As far as fabrics go, this machine does not need any serious, super cool fabric and so on. There are clear and understandable specifications for it. We have fabrics on the market. We don't need to invent something new. We are selecting. Before the new year, in the last month, in December, we received about 12 samples of fabric from different manufacturers. They are now all in the laboratory. A certain methodology is being used. Some internal tests are running, because it is clear that there are declared characteristics, and there is what we will boil, tear. We will see how it boils, how it holds up to tearing when it is cut, how it retains helium, how helium is retained along with welding, and then we will choose the fabric by the end of January. And it's already agreed with all the suppliers that once we say which one we want, we get it within a week. All the cuts are ready. The cutting table is ready. The welding equipment is ready. So we're ready to have it all welded by the end of February. The control system is ready, the engines are ready. So here is our first airship, which is small. It's just to practice the control system. And it will fly at the end of February. Naturally, every soft airship needs to be cut, then welded. And this is the first airship, Nova 01. We already know which of the contractors will cut and weld it. But at the same time, we're selecting our own equipment, because it is cheaper to cut and weld the airship Nova 2. It is really cheaper to buy a cutting machine and a welding machine. It's cheaper to do it ourselves than order cutting and welding externally. And actually, we have specialists who are welders and cutters among our staff. And of course, it's very good to master the technical process as well. It is clear that in the future we're going to move towards large airships. They have a rigid case and a soft shell. We had a discussion for a long time whether we should bother with it, whether we should master it. And then in the end, it turned out that the same airship of about 8,000 cubic meters with a soft shell will be in demand in certain areas. And there are already customers for them. Like it will fly and we will buy a batch straight away. Yes, it is profitable to master the technological process. And it will be cheaper for us, as I have said. It is cheaper than ordering this cutting and welding externally. So such a decision was also made. So we went into that direction as well. The question remains, what are you going to cut and weld? Do we have in our country or somewhere to get these fabrics from? We have interested production facilities in our country, indeed, that are ready, in partnership with us, to master the production of the necessary fabric. Composite fabric, of course, of the required width and properties, in the required quantity as well. Naturally, mastering such a technological process means time and money. And in parallel, there is a fabric that you can buy and make this airship with it. And you can buy it both in our country, but there are some nuances, of course, and in foreign countries. In countries that will gladly supply us with this fabric. In countries that will supply the fabric and say, I didn't know where it was going. And even from there, where they will say, no, you can't. You can only do it through Turkey. Yes, we have what to cut and what to weld. Vadim Subkevich told us about that during his podcast. He said that modern bases, which are woven, modern threads, modern impregnations, they are hundreds of times stronger and better than the fabrics that were used before, and they are lighter as well. So this airship is modern. Now there is just a question of who will produce these fabrics. And that will be decided in due time.